method of business would persist until the formation of the National Wrestling Alliance in 1948. The NWA as a central governing body, with its singular, undisputed world champion, would be absolute and undeniable. This control, combined with the expansion of the interstate highway system, and the inevitable popularity and availability of regional television, would usher in an era of wrestling that was defined by what would come to be known as the territory system. The territory system would dominate wrestling for nearly 4 decades, while the borders, authority, popularity, and obedience of individual NWA territories was in a near constant state of flux. To this day the impact and influence of these territories is still felt. Each territory had its own signature promoter and star. While it is impossible to cram these characteristics into a static, concrete map, we are damn sure going to try anyway.
So open up your eyes way before it gets too late. Now one man, there's no way you can hit the street lights running, don't give a damn. A simple explanation that you'll never find. Sinners never sacrifice. We never leave love alone. Is hate really worth the price? Look at what we've done. Never care for compromise. Always threaten with someone's life, and it feels like the end of the world.
Welcome to another week, and this week in Pro Wrestler with your host Mike Monty and the infamous Mr. Jimmy Farrow. Jimmy, how are you?
Lovely. What's going on?
Well, I don't know, man. It seems like more AEW talk between us lately. I don't know why I'm so focused on AEW, but
AEW, is that shit real?
What do you mean?
That should be their tag. Is that shit real?
Yeah, I like that.
Think about it.
It's pretty good marketing, right?
Yeah,
there.
right. And remember, you got to do something quickly to make sure that stays with us. Quickly.
Is that shit real?
Yeah, because that's really what's getting really cool about wrestling in general lately. That could apply to WWE too. Go grab it, Hunter. I'd rather see you steal it from me. Anyway.
But are you actually trying to insinuate that, like, they look like
I
it's
love
real?
the blurring of the shitty, like the shit that's going on. There's like all sorts of blurring.
Explain.
I don't know, but I think that the rest of the script probably will lead us to that, my friend.
All right, well, backstage talk, details on huge AEW talent meeting before Dynamite Wednesday night. They had something to say. AEW has done rather well in its first years of existence, so says whoever wrote this fucking article. Growing from nothing into second biggest wrestling promotion to the United States. There is only 2, pal. I don't know where.
Excellent math. Actually, he's spot on.
He is.
He's 2 for 2.
It's, if you have a little money, you could be number 2 also.
Hey,
if we
why
were
not?
billionaires, who knows?
Yeah.
That has taken a lot of work, but it does not mean that everything is going perfectly behind the scenes.
Right,
There
right.
are some other issues to deal with as AEW. According to Fightful Select, AEW President Tony Khan held a talent meeting before this week's edition of AEW Dynamite. Khan planned to address various behind-the-scenes issues, including Hangman Page and CM Punk from
Is that
last
shit
week's
real?
show. Look at you.
Is that shit real?
Wow.
Hangman Adam Page and CM Punk. You see how we did
you
that?
are. That's
Is
pretty good.
that shit real?
Khan was said to be fired up at a meeting and talked about how AEW had new structures in place, including expansion of talent relations and developmental divisions to help the roster. What do we got there? Kenny Omega
And
just
the Young
jumped my
Bucks.
screen.
They
Hold
also
on.
said that they were both Omega and the Young Bucks were available to talk to anyone who needed to be talked to.
Wow.
Chris Jericho and Tony Schiavone also spoke, but it's not really clear what they said. Then why report it? By the way, they spoke. What they say? I don't have the faintest
who knows?
fucking idea.
Here's the
That's
most important part, though.
Yeah.
Chief Legal Officer. I'm not even going to say his name.
Can I
Saint-
try?
Go ahead, go ahead.
Mega Parent? Oh, sorry.
Mega Perica.
Mega Perek. It sounds like a
Mega
Godzilla opponent.
Paraka.
Godzilla versus Mega
There you
Paraka.
go.
Oy. It doesn't sound good for Godzilla. Oy.
Sent the WWE message telling WWE CEOs Nick Khan and Stephanie McMahon to stop tampering
Ooh.
with their talent.
How dare
There
you.
is no word on the WWF statement.
Yeah, you know why
WWE
there's no
statement.
you know why there's no word from WWE? Because they're going to acknowledge it like a dissipating fart. There will be no acknowledgement. of
I
it.
honestly feel like there was
Be
no
like-
letter sent to the WWE.
False.
Just
reporting.
more false bullshit.
False reporting. Besides, what would this even reach? Look, I don't know who this person that you're afraid to pronounce their name either is, but
Right.
would that really reach the direct email to Stephanie and Mr. Khan?
I guess maybe they might have it, but I mean, what are you going to say to them? Stop tampering.
Yeah.
What tampering?
I really don't
Who
know.
from AEW has jumped ship?
Nobody didn't want to.
And on top of that, they're
don't
under
know.
contract, so you
Yeah.
can really talk to whoever you want. You
Yeah.
can't sign them because they're under contract,
Yeah, I
right? So it's
don't-
like it's kind of a stupid comment.
Well, you know what it is? It's the old punching up thing, right? They figured that they can't, like, they got nothing to lose. At least they're punching up and trying
Punching
to
up.
getting some attention. You know
I
what I'm
like that.
saying?
Yeah,
Well, they
you're
are.
right.
They are
You're
punching
right.
up. Is that shit real? That punching up. Is this real?
Is this real?
I wonder.
That's
You've
going to be
gotta-
the mantra for tonight.
Wrestling and life. Is this real?
Well, here's something.
Yeah.
AEW Undisputed World Championship match on Wednesday night. CM Punk for John Moxley. What'd you think of that match?
Do you realize how scrambled I am at this point with my former hero, CM Punk? You know that once upon a time, before he went to AEW and when he was away for all those years, he was in my top, maybe 5 to 10. We know he was in my top 10.
Sure.
Right?
Right.
He's CM Punk. Since this whole AEW thing, he comes out with the old Kenny Rogers Roasters beard and stuff, and he's all skinny and stuff. He's not what he used to be. Then he tries to bulk up. I guess he ate Big Bites from 7-Eleven
Right.
for a week or two.
Right.
We got all these, like, it's been kind of disappointing. And then I get to watch CM Punk get fucking ragdolled.
What is that all about?
Is that shit real? No, serious, bro. I'm gonna hammer this to death.
Let's
Is
see.
this
I
shit
want to see
real?
how focused Pharaoh.
Is he mad at Paige behind the scenes? Did something really happen with him? And sure
All
as
right,
shit looks
we'll
like
get
it.
We'll get it.
Sure as shit
But
looks
let me ask
like
you this
it.
question: what did you notice differently when CM Punk was squaring off against John Moxley on Wednesday night? What was the first thing that came to my attention right away?
Wow.
So I knew something was
I
up.
tell you what, since I can't go into your mind, why don't you give me it? Because, like,
Came out in sweatpants.
Sweat. Okay, fine. Yeah, what's
Instantly,
up with the sweat?
I go,
Interesting.
what
I
is
didn't think
going
about
on
the
with the
sweatpants.
sweatpants?
And wow. Okay.
So when he gets ragdolled,
yeah.
like you said,
Yeah, okay.
in my mind, did I go, did they screw up and he's still hurt?
Right.
So they had to just go ahead with this because they're not going to main event.
Or are they? Is it a repercussion from what may be going on in the back? What is it?
And he does the job because he's fighting with Hangman Page.
What I'm getting at is that, and by the way, I'm actually, there we go. I'm actually on Punk's side with this whole Page situation, by the way, because Page threw something at Punk that wasn't planned. That's what
Wait a
started.
minute, hold
it.
on. That was months ago, and
Right.
that wasn't scripted.
No, according to Punk, no. Where he held this grudge. This is the story.
I
That
understand.
you understand what I'm saying? But I mean,
understand.
from what I take on face
Is
value,
this shit real?
that's what I'm getting at.
Go ahead, keep going.
So is this shit real? Punk responded back with his
By
own
the way,
receipt.
the answer is no, but go ahead.
What?
It ain't real.
Oh, it's not.
It's
Damn
all
it.
scripted bullshit.
Wow.
But go ahead.
You've been watching
Stick to
this
your theory.
facade in wrestling, and until next week,
No,
maybe
go
we'll
ahead.
be
Stick
back.
to your-
Maybe we
stick to
will.
your- Stick to your theory. Go ahead.
Well, I'm not sure if I have a theory, but it seemed like Punk was calling for a receipt back. He got his receipt back. I don't really know what the problem is after that behind the scenes.
By the way, the fans were upset with us last week that we didn't discuss that thing.
well, that's because
it went right over my head when he said it. I was
Actually-
like, it went over my head.
Actually, to be fair, I think that when we do the actual recordings of these programs, this was not like a household thing quite yet. It
Yeah,
broke.
but if I was focused, I would have picked up on it because he
Right.
did say something. But
Right.
and I was watching.
Right.
It went over my head.
It went over
was
my
like,
head
who
too,
cares?
pretty much. I
Who
was
cares?
just like, okay, he's still mad about something that Paige said, and I remember that, by the way.
Honestly, I was like, I don't even
I
know
do
what
remember
he's
that.
talking about. Like,
Yeah, well,
you know.
Paige threw some shade at him, and Punk wasn't really there to defend himself that particular situation.
Okay.
And he didn't appreciate the fact that it was kind of like on the fly at his expense, and he is the veteran after all.
Sure.
So here's the young up and comer who he's putting over. He's doing a program with him. Guy ran his mouth. Wasn't
Fair
too
enough.
happy about it. Okay, so from what I've seen on the surface, he throws a return receipt. Honestly, if Tony Khan is punishing him for this, which is a possibility because I don't know if you're hearing any of this, and I don't know if this is true, but supposedly Punk is not really so liked after all in this particular dressing room.
Because that's, I think, in any dressing room.
Right.
That,
not just
is this
by,
shit real?
but not just
That was real.
Not just by like Hunter and Vince. You understand what I'm getting at? The wrestlers in general, like fuck this.
In general, I would say
Paige is loved,
most of
supposedly.
the wrestlers,
So we got
going
ourselves
back to the Attitude Era. Once it became get out of character and try
Yeah.
to be more like yourself.
Right.
Every wrestler is more like themselves.
Right.
And CM Punk is a dick.
Right. He's a
He's
complainer.
a dick.
Well, he's at the very least a chronic complainer. He's always going to have an issue. Remember, I've always said for weeks since he's returned, he's never going to be happy. Never, never, never. He's always going to have something to complain about, and apparently this is his latest thing to complain about. Could you imagine how ironic would it be that he ultimately seemed to demonize the WWE because of how they treated his health,
Right.
but yet at the end of the day, Tony Khan is like trying, what if he really is hurt and they made him come back too soon?
Well, the rumor has
Wow.
it. The rumor has
How
it
ironic
that
would
they're
that
still
be?
going to main event Moxley against Punk.
Do you think so?
Do I think? I don't know,
What do you
man.
think?
I don't know if he's really hurt. That booking made no sense to me. Like,
You know what's good about
it's
that
surprising.
booking? You know what's good about that booking? You and I have no answers. That's why I'll give it a B.
Wow.
I will give it a B.
So let me ask you something.
I'm giving it props. I'm not
Hey, let's
giving
go
it
to a
legendary
wrestling match.
status.
Oh my
but
God!
the shock factor
CM Punk, John
was good.
Moxley. We discussed that. And I was
Right.
like, "Who cares?" And you're like, "Man,
Right.
I would love to see that." We
Yeah.
go buy tickets, and that's the match you get.
Oh, we're pissed because it's so quick. But here's what's funny, and I already know this because you know what was one of my most annoying things I ever saw was like you just said. Okay, now I've bought tickets for SummerSlam with my Bart. Thank you, Bart. We went to SummerSlam. Okay, now it's SummerSlam. You know how high
Right.
your expectations
Sure,
are, right?
right.
I was at the SummerSlam, and I was looking forward to seeing Randy Orton versus Brock Lesnar for the world title. I was like, this is going to be.
Good.
Look, it's Randy Orton,
Sure.
man. It's Brock Lesnar. If they really give what they're both capable of, shoo, we're looking at like 20 minutes of brutality and athleticism. This should be great, right? Well, that was the one where Brock Lesnar went bang, 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 and made him bleed to death in 5 seconds. The crowd was furious. We wanted a match. I
forget
remember
that match. How
distinctly.
fast was that match?
It was fast, and Lesnar gave him a real beating. And this is the legendary one where Jericho was in the gorilla
Oh,
position.
got pissed
No
off.
one told him.
Right.
Like, and Vince, no one had told anybody. Only Randy, Brock, and Vince knew.
Oh, so that
like,
was the gimmick that he was supposed to beat him up.
he
like
was
that.
supposed to. He was, and then when Vince came running up to Jericho and was like, "It's a work, you idiot! Like, calm down, because Jericho was right in Lesnar's face. I didn't know any of this.
Right.
All I know is I wanted to see that match. I mean, in 5 minutes it was over, and he was lying in a puddle of blood, and the whole place was gasping because we saw the blood pouring. Like, they had to tighten. You could see the blood pouring out of him. So yeah, you're right. This would have pissed me off, but. As years go by, I appreciate that I was there for that.
Yeah, but I don't.
It's
I don't-
weird.
You're not going to appreciate this. You can't
Not this.
appreciate. This was just
Not as much. No, I can't
doesn't-
compare
okay,
it to a
let me ask you
legitimate
something.
beatdown
You-
by Brock
you took
Lesnar
your
on
possible
Randy.
big pay-per-view
No.
main event.
Yeah.
Like, why would you want to see that match in a pay-per-view now? Like, what is this fucking
Well,
CM
how do
Punk
you-
gets his return?
Well, how do
fight?
you sell this? There's a couple of different ways you could sell this. You could sell this as a work shoot where this was like Punk fighting with management, and you made me drop the. You could do shit like that. Look, no one cares anymore with the kayfabe thing.
Right.
You could literally go that way, or
Yeah, but
you
that's
could go.
bad. It's
Of
just
course,
like-
it's
that's
bad.
bad.
Or you could go another way where Moxley is. Was this right to do with Moxley? The more I think about it, is he the one who should be squashing CM Punk?
No, that's a whole nother thing.
What
Lesnar
if Powerhouse? What
squashing
if Powerhouse Hobbs had squashed?
That
CM
would have been a
Punk?
bit
What if
different.
Wardlow?
That would have been a bit different.
Why didn't they do that?
Because Moxley. Listen, this is my belief. My belief is Punk wasn't ready to come back.
And they made him work.
I don't think they made him work. I think he said, "Hey, let's do this."
Let's squash me.
No, let's get a huge
When
rating.
would CM
Listen,
Punk?
it's certainly
is that
well
consistent
planned.
with CM Punk?
Well,
squash
what?
me.
You know what?
CM Punk has never ever let someone.
You know what?
Well,
This is really
not purposely.
it's
I
about,
don't think.
it should be out. So just give me a second.
This
here.
is strange.
I want to see how this did.
Live research, folks. Live on the air. He's
Keep
researching.
going.
Keep going. Keep going. Thanks a lot. Hey, yeah, Punk and Moxley. Not exactly legendary. What are you looking for?
I am going to get you the ratings from
Ooh. The ratings. Oh, how this match actually did.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Something
hang
tells
in there
me.
a second.
Something tells me it's not going to be Andre and Hogan back in '88. You got that feeling,
Because I'm going to tell you what, if the ratings is over 1 million,
right?
then it did its job. If
Oh,
it
very
isn't,
interesting.
if it didn't, then this whole fucking
This
thing
whole
is,
facade is for shit. Okay, I can see
hold
that.
on. Hang in there, hang in there.
Hold on to your dreams.
All right,
even
you
though it
ready?
seems- Yeah, I think so.
They drew 1,049,000 viewers,
1.04.
up from 957.
All right, they got over 1 million.
So it worked.
They added.
It worked.
But they didn't add like, dude. That's a very slight increase.
But
Dude,
it got you a million?
They added 100,000 views.
They placed it
realize-
smartly. They put in the second hour, so you had to hang out. 'Cause
Right.
You didn't want to miss
No,
it.
that is smart.
Okay.
That is
But,
smart.
again, I don't know what this does for CM Punk,
No.
unless they just say he was injured, whatever
No,
else.
No. I do hope that we might be pressed for time, but I really hope we get to this. By the way, because boy, oh boy,
Go
do I
ahead.
got, boy, oh boy, do I
Let's
got
talk
something.
about
to-
it.
I mean, okay, so this past week, of course, WWE NXT superstar Johnny Gargano made his main roster debut. Do you know what you're looking at when you see Johnny Gargano? Because I know exactly who I'm looking at.
You want to know what I was looking at?
I know. Do it, dude.
Hold on.
Go
I'm
ahead,
going to
do
tell
it.
you what I was looking at.
Do it.
I was
Do
looking.
it.
I was
Here
looking
we
at.
go.
I was looking at Austin.
Austin?
Theory
Oh, okay.
standing over
Here we go.
a fucking midget. Excuse
That's
my
not
language.
a midget.
Did you see the size difference?
Yeah, of course. I
And
did.
Austin Theory's a big guy.
Yeah.
But he's no Randy Orton.
No.
He's no Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
He's no Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
He's no Jimmy
Did you
Uso.
see? Did you
He's
see,
no this.
Did you see when the little fella's foot hit his face?
That was great.
That looks just like a Shawn Michaels super kick.
Is this real?
Is that shit real?
Is this real?
I'm gonna go with no. That's gonna have to be a big fat no.
This is the
But
problem
Can I tell you?
going
who,
back
can I tell
years
you
ago
who? Okay.
that you and
okay.
I discussed.
Okay. Okay.
As
Yeah,
much
he's
as
a-
you love these guys,
Yeah.
keep them in NXT because you cannot bring them up to the main roster,
Oh,
dude.
boy. Oh, boy.
I am sorry.
Oh boy. You're gonna love what I've got to tell you.
Go ahead, I wanna hear
Okay,
it.
because you want to know what you're looking at.
What am I
I'll
looking
tell
at?
you who you. And this is not me. This is just the things I see in the future already. I'm already
ahead.
laughing about it.
Go ahead.
Okay, here's my disclaimer. This is Triple H's. This is Triple H's. Boy, but I'll go further than that.
Go ahead.
You're looking at WWE's. We don't even need to do a clone like a Diesel or a fake Razor Ramon.
Mm-hmm.
This is our next. Oh God, here it comes.
Go ahead.
This is our next Daniel Bryan. And fans want him so bad. Listen to those fans. They're going to. I'm not saying I like any of what's coming out of my mouth, by the way.
Go ahead.
They're going to insist that eventually Johnny Gargano wins the world title at WrestleMania, just like Kofi and just like Daniel. Because Johnny Gargano is Johnny Wrestling and is, not by you and me, beloved. Boy, are you in for a really annoying run.
Nope.
You're gonna
won't
hate him.
happen.
You're gonna hate him. You know, it's
not gonna do
you
well.
remember the old 5 minutes with the Pharaohs? Do you remember when we went in to see NXT and I shot one for the channel way back? What was I saying? I was saying I can't stand Johnny Gargano.
Right.
He's such a tushy boy.
Right.
He's 2 feet tall.
Right.
All this other shit. Tommaso Ciampa, by the way, beat him that night at the Barclays. Ciampa, who we both approve of, right?
Sure.
Okay. That's
And Champ is a small guy.
is it? How small would you say? Is Ciampa not worthy of U.S. or Intercontinental title to you?
No, he's worthy of that.
Good enough. Not the world title.
He's no Drew McIntyre.
No way, Jose.
You can't play with the big boys, dude. That's what I'm
true.
trying to say.
That's true.
No
But
matter
why-
what, no matter how you think they are,
It
they
depends.
can't play with the
but
big
doesn't
boys.
it depend, though, at the end of the day, on the big boy factor of the big boy? For example, I just said No Way Jose. But then I thought about that guy. Remember him? No Way
Yeah,
Jose?
big
That
guy.
was a big guy. Guess what? You put him in the ring with Ciampa. Guess who I think's winning? Unbelievable.
But
I think Ciampa's going to kill him.
Listen,
Isn't that interesting? Give me that at
I'm
least.
gonna
it
end the
depends
show
on
with
the
this.
big boys.
I
big
might
boy
agree
factor.
with Vince Russo at this point.
Uh oh.
Triple H is now kowtowing.
This was
to
his
the
creation.
minority.
Johnny was his creation.
He's now kowtowing to the minority. They don't need Johnny Gargano.
No.
Okay?
No.
He, again...
You think he's overreacting is what you get.
Yes, he's bringing
That's interesting.
everybody back.
That's interesting.
You know,
not
Dexter Lumis
everybody.
makes
I think
sense,
Dexter
okay?
Lumis makes less sense in the history of NXT input than Johnny Gargano.
But Dexter Lumis is a big dude that
Okay,
plays
he's a big
fine
dude.
in a WWE.
Wait a
manner.
minute, didn't he abduct somebody?
Johnny Gargano
He's
gets
back.
a title shot against Roman Reigns.
Oh, stop.
And you love Johnny Gargano.
I don't.
And they decided, Triple H goes, this is the guy that's going to beat
He's
Roman
not going
Reigns
to
for
do
the
that.
title. But say
I
he
don't
did
believe
that.
so. Don't forget.
Wouldn't you be pissed?
When Daniel Bryan won the belt, he didn't beat the Behemoth.
Daniel
Behemoth
Bryan was
directly.
much bigger than Johnny Gargano.
Yeah, he probably is. I'd like to see the two of them standing next to each
Again,
other. I agree.
Theory,
Oh, I love
Gargano.
Theory.
It was like,
I love Theory.
what the?
So what happens with that feud? Does Theory go over on him, or does Gargano go over on
It's
Theory?
not a feud. Theory
There's going to be a
just-
feud.
Not with Gargano. I don't know. Who knows?
After the kick in the face, there'll be a
Anyway,
feud.
this is the week of pro wrestling. Set us
Yeah.
out.
You've been watching This Week in Wrestling, and until next week in wrestling, later.